It all started back in 1942 with a 6-year-old me and a few of my friends, some adults. My friends and I were stuck on this island. The adults would come and go all the time. My friends would always talk to me about leaving, but I never really had a dream to. All I knew was working for these adults. Till one day, where these 2 white males and 1 white female crashed their boat on our island. Their boat was destroyed. With no hesitation, they shouted at us, "Can anyone fix this? You can have your dream life, everything you have ever wanted." No one knew how to help them but me, so I rushed over and helped them. After a few hours of repairing their boat, we sailed off towards their facility. It was a warehouse. It felt welcoming inside. Everyone was so nice, especially the lady from the boat. She even walked me to my room, although I thought the rooms were weird, being a 2x2 format with one secretary in each one throughout a long hallway. Felt more like home than I've ever experienced. When we finally got into my room, she turned to me and said, "Honey, there's only 2 rules here. Take your pill every night and don't look at your own face, and you will have the time of your life." Then she asked me with the kindest voice you can ever imagine, "Cruz, what would you like to do for the rest of your life?" Nothing left my mouth. I was so confused, so she quickly followed up and said, "We have everything here from basketball to a full airplane simulator." She told me, although we have cool things here, video games are my favorite. Being a kid, I picked that one. Thus she walked me to my designated room, and I remember this room vividly. It had blue walls, white trims at the bottom and top of the walls, white clouds like you see in the Toy Story movie, and a bed placed in the center of the room with a small TV mounted on the wall. I would play all day, and when it was time for bed, the same lady would take me back to my room and give me a small pill that would make me go to sleep like a baby every night. And every day I wake up, she would escort me back to my gaming room. Although this was my dream life, something felt off, like something was missing. Then I got it. I could not remember the past days, and the more I thought about it, the more it would fade. So that very night, I decided to not take my pill and go to bed without it. Not taking it made me not sleep at all. In fact, I stayed up all night. Even though this might seem like a bad thing, I noticed something that I've never noticed before. There was a camera placed just above my door, taking pictures of me while I sleep, so I had to play it cool and act like I didn't see anything. Waiting till the morning felt like an eternity, but once the clock hit 8 o'clock, I jumped out of bed and immediately walked over to the secretary and noticed something crazy. Stopped me right in my tracks. His face, it was nothing I've ever seen before. I walked up to him and said, "Hello, I would just like to ask you, how old are you?" He replied with, "I'm 10 years old." Knowing this is not true, I asked him, "Have you ever seen yourself?" He laughed and said, No, are you joking? The biggest rule here is to not look at yourself. Ever. And if you do, you won't be able to have a fun day." For some reason, this made me more and more angry. While I was standing there, my legs were locked. I couldn't move. I was stuck staring at his face as his face became more real. So without a second thought, I turned off his computer and showed it his face, and it got even more paler than it already was. He slowed his movement down to an absolute minimum. He grabbed a pen, and then he was gone. Although I was shocked, I knew I had to check out my own face for myself. So I went behind the counter where all the kids' photos were. Saw mine, white as a ghost, so skinny it was sad. I had no hair. I was old. I was petrified. I lived my whole life, doing nothing, and I can't even remember it. Then I woke up. Thought that this wasn't real, and that this was the dream. It took me a solid 5 hours to start to understand that this is the true reality.